I'm on a mission to understand the special relationship between fathers and daughters. Working alongside a psychology practice who specializes in these relationships, we've challenged 5 dads to connect with their daughters in new ways and to capture their experiences together.
Dads have a voice, perhaps the most formative voice in shaping a daughter's identity. We invited dads and daughters on a 9-week challenge to engage each other and help the dad's voice become a voice that carries.
The first phase of our challenge is all about new adventures. We've invited our dads to think about all sorts of new ways to engage with their daughters. Some of these adventures involve the daughter coming into the world of her father and learning more about him. Others are about the dad coming into his daughter's world and learning more about the things she loves. What we discovered is that it didn't matter very much what the activity actually was. What mattered was simply spending time together.
There's lots of research to show that daughters of involved fathers tend to be less likely to get into abusive relationships.
Your daughter wants to hear and see that you're there. Because if they see that you're there, and even though they say you don't understand, they're still very happy you're there.
It's not that they want dad to fix the problem. It's not that they want to, take action together, but just to be together watching a TV show. Or to go on a walk next to each other. So it doesn't have to feel like it's this kind of breakthrough moment. Girls just want their dads to be next to them.
Challenge 1. Choose some new adventures with your daughter that you've never done together before and stay present with her in the adventure.
We've gone over the challenges.
I'm not camera ready.
Just right here. And so we have different challenges, activities.
Okay, so we've chosen some activities to do together. And one of the activities we chose was shopping.
Yeah.
Is that exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah? And guess what? It's gonna be shopping without mommy.
What?
This isn't like electronic shopping, which I would be stoked to go to, or sporting goods or grocery shopping, but this is gonna be like clothes shopping for the girls. And this is something that my wife Teresa normally handles solely. So it's probably the activity I'm most apprehensive about.
I need shoes with laces on them to practice for kindergarten.
You need shoes with laces to practice for kindergarten.
I need
Good.
shorts.
And you need shorts?
Yeah.
Okay.
And tank tops. And tank tops.
Tank tops. All right. 7, 8. Okay. We can Do you like this style or this style better?
Well, I like this style.
You like this one? Okay, so one of the challenges of shopping for girls is that you come across stuff like this and you can't even get the thing apart.
Yeah. Well, I see some more of his personality and some more of how he's really silly.
Issues like sizing and style are gonna be fun to navigate, but
Too big. We haven't tried on these yet.
how about the one you got on?
Too big.
Okay.
Super too big.
Rose actually helped me in trying on one piece of clothing. She said, oh, you can, I'm like, that's not gonna fit. She said, no, you can adjust it, and I actually learned something from her.
That was really awkward. This one finally fits.
Okay.
The shorts are very comfortable. Just this tag is bothering me.
Leave that.
But
Trying on about 20 pieces of clothing, having only one of them or two of them fit. That was frustrating and challenging. Being the primary shopper for clothes and shoes and stuff like that, you know, that is definitely mom's world, and so they were gonna wear this stuff to school, so I had to make sure it fit, and they liked it, and it wasn't outrageous, so, you know, just doing some of the things that I don't normally do with them in the girl arena was definitely just a little bit intimidating.
Do you think Daddy learned anything?
yes, that being a girl is hard.
Just the fact that we were able to accomplish something together new was very fulfilling.
I really just want the day to never end and we just keep going forever and ever. But that was a long shot. So.
Watching these dads and daughters build these challenges together, I'm realizing that many dads are engaged in the big moments of their daughters' lives, but they're not so connected to the everyday stuff. And that makes me wonder, though, if it's those mundane moments of everyday life where our identities are so often being shaped.
Fathers have a special way of helping a daughter to have a greater sense of self-worth, improve their self-confidence and self-esteem, and view themselves from a more positive perspective. When fathers spend leisure time playing with their daughters, it is an opportunity to help their daughters grow and gain and build better social skills.
It does probably in some ways kind of break the stereotypes for the football player and the football coach to end up with the 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Not any of the sons on the football team.
Right. I grew up, you know, in a family where it was always hardcore. They didn't say, I love you, or give you a hug, or, you know, your love shows that I put food on the table, I give you a place to stay. That shows the love. You know, I try my best to let them know that, hey, I do love you. Hey, I want to spend time with you, you know.
You guys made some art together. Is that a usual practice for you guys? Do you do that? What was that experience like?
You know, it's funny. Out of all the stuff I do with them, art was never one of them. I always see them do it by themselves or with their mom. And I'm the guy that just, I'm gonna watch football or work in the yard or something. And, you know, I never thought like, hey, let me do some painting with them or art or whatever. And that's what threw me off. I'm like, you want to do art? I'm like, okay.
My rain is looking so good. I want to be an art teacher at school.
I'm drawing me and my girls. It's not a great picture, but you could. It's just a little imagination.
He tried.
Yeah, I tried. You know, at the time I was like, oh, it's kind of weird doing art, you know, with my daughter. But as we was doing it, I started realizing, you know what? Sometimes I persuade them to do what Daddy liked to do. You know, I should be doing more like what they want to do sometimes, you know, or, you know, compromise what they want to do. All right, all done.
So when we went painting with our dad, I felt happy because art is my favorite thing. You want some high five?
There you go.
Samaya.
All right, so we just finished our dance routine, and it was really funny to watch my dad try and dance with me.
6, 7, 8.
Okay, there's some shoulders in there.
It should be like the floor is hot, and you bounce on the balls of your feet.
He really could not jump in sync and had trouble.
When Simran was doing her dancing, I was missing out on the experience of what it is they do, the hard work that they have to put into that. I learned a lot more as to what I was completely missing. 3, 4.
See, you got it, but the opposite.
And you have to do this for 7 minutes? There's no way.
Yeah. 5,
6,
7.
7.
Arm out.
The effort was there, but the performance wasn't.
Left hand.
Left hand, okay.
I didn't see. I told you you'd do that.
I know. Steps you're doing this whole dance?
Probably more than 50.
Huh. That's crazy. This is nuts.
Like, dancing isn't his thing, but because it's my thing, he made it a point to make it his thing.
A complete appreciation for brain function. I can't even process this stuff quickly enough to be able to put the numbers and the hops and the arms and and then you got to smile and you got to look at the audience. You got to see where your partner is. You got to stay in a box. You got to hold a prop.
Make
She
sure
loves it though.
the looks. I love it.
It was just really nice to do it with him, to share something that I love with him.
I'm exhausted
Cheerleader.
already.
I'm wondering if some dads are underestimating their significance in the lives of their daughters, if they don't realize how much their words and actions impact the young women in their lives. Which of these challenges do you think was the most helpful, the most of a growth experience for you in your relationship with your daughter?
Horseback riding. She was absolutely terrified. And even when she got nervous before and I ever saw any level of like that look in her eye, like maybe not this, maybe we don't do this. And I saw that look that day.
First, I felt like nervous and I was gonna like fall because they're really big. So I was like scared.
To feel that level of fear that you weren't maybe even thinking you were gonna feel, to the point where you're maybe gonna back out of doing something and then push through, that was impressive. That was impressive.
Proud of you for pushing through that fear.
You may not have the right words, and even my own daughter has said to me, "Dad, you don't understand," or "You have no fashion sense." Get that a lot more these days. But just being there and being that ear for them helps because they're gonna go through emotional times.
A lot of times kids will tell me what I want from my parents when I'm feeling distraught is for my parent to be near me. They aren't expecting much more.
A good father-daughter relationship, communicating means you can communicate all the good feelings, but you can also communicate the bad feelings. If that groundwork is laid, then as that daughter ages and the father ages, it doesn't matter what the topic is. They'll be able to talk with one another about that because they already laid a groundwork that we know how to talk to each other.
Challenge number one was this idea of doing things together that you've never done together before.
Right.
So tell me what you guys did in that challenge.
We were doing an adventure course.
Keep it coming. There you go. Good job.
So I had it planned where we were going to do it together. And
You're
like
good.
everything
Good
in
job.
life, things change. She could only do it by herself.
I did it once through and I was actually pretty scared because it was so high up. But I did it a second time and I felt so much better because Dylan encouraged me the first time.
So I had to stand on the ground and then coach her through the obstacles. She was scared of heights. She was scared to be up there alone,
Step forward. Good job.
but she had an absolute blast.
Yeah. Yeah, Cal. There you go. Good job, baby.
That activity helped me a lot because I already knew Dylan was always there for me, but I've never really experienced it because I've never really gone through that many bad things in life. But I realized it doesn't really have to be that hard. Dylan's always going to be there for me.
Good job, baby. There you go. No, that was great.
Is it hard to get your dad's attention sometimes?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So when he's sitting on the couch and I say, Daddy, 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 and sometimes he doesn't pay attention, but sometimes he does. Like he listens to half of my sentence and then he zones back into whatever he's doing and then he listens a little bit and then he's like, wait, what about the fish? And I said nothing about whatever he said.
Do you have a challenge with just being present in the moment?
I think being present is one of the hardest things for me. I think I justify not being present when I'm trying to be by telling myself that the things I'm thinking about are providing for my children. And so it's okay that I'm not here all the way right now, because the things I'm thinking about and what I want to go do is helping provide a life for all of us.
You feel your mind start to wander. Is there something you do?
I think that the biggest technique is something I learned from going to synagogue when we're praying out of the certain prayer books. If you find your mind wandering, just stop what you're doing, go back to the last word you recognize that you read, and start reading from there again. So I kind of apply that technique, which is, okay, well, hold on. I'm totally not paying attention to her or him right now. What's the last thing you heard? Let's focus back in on that and maybe ask a question about it or tell her to elaborate. So what do you mean by that? Do you mean that it's this? And then she'll, no, Dad, it's not what I said. And then she'll go on. But then I'm kind of re-engaging myself in that way.
I talk to dads all the time about, so what do you do with your daughter? Like, what do you do together? A lot of dads have a blank stare like, well, it's a girl. I don't know what they want. Just being there and being that ear, being that sounding board, right? You don't have, dads tend to try to fix a lot of things like, oh, well, I can fix this. Or who's that kid's name? I mean, what's his name? I need to find out what his name is because he can't tell you you're ugly. I'm going to go, and you have to take a step back and be like, okay, well, that's probably wasn't nice. And well, that's okay. And you are beautiful. And you don't have to worry about what that kid said. Because if they see that you're there, and even though they say you don't understand, they're still very happy you're there. And that makes all the difference.
The first challenge was only 3 weeks long, but as the footage started to come in and as I began to interview these dads and daughters, I could see how meaningful these small, simple activities were. Bonds were being forged before our eyes with things as easy as coloring or shopping or climbing in trees. These daughters were craving the attention of their fathers, and the dads were being empowered to show up and be present in a way they never had before. We were on to something. Coming up, these fathers and daughters will continue taking on new challenges that will help them grow together. And you can learn more about building a stronger connection with your daughter at our website, avoicethatcarries.com.
The next activity we're going to do is going to play disc golf. And it was a little warm that day, so my young one, Anna especially, when she gets hot, or she's like me, as soon as we get hot and sweaty, it's not a good time.
Yeah, she told me she doesn't like to sweat.
Yeah.
She's against sweat.
Yeah. You don't need to film this.
But I kept and tried, and I did it. That dog's fast. It was just me, Anna, and Daddy all together doing it as like a little group, and it really made me feel happy.
Would you do it again?
No, I do not want to get hot again.